This episode of the Matt Report is brought to you by Foo Plugins, more specifically, Foo Plugins Foo Gallery. You can find it at foo.gallery. There's a new Pro Commerce plan, and it gives you two-way integration into WooCommerce. So if you want to sell photos, you can sell photos with foo.gallery and WooCommerce. It makes your job super easy, especially if you're a photographer. I just had family photos taken the other day, and I looked at the big conglomerate website that my photographer sent me. I said, man, it would look so much better if you sold it right through WooCommerce, especially if you use something like Foo Gallery. Check out foo.gallery and learn more about their Pro Commerce plan. Check out their WooCommerce integration. They have a great way to watermark and protect your photo galleries. Check them out and thank them for sponsoring the show. It's foo.gallery. Go to foo.gallery today. Start selling images with Foo Gallery and WooCommerce. We're back with another breaking news episode today. This time I sit down with Syed Balkhi, founder of Awesomotive, talking about the acquisition of Sandhills Development. You heard me hop on a call in the last episode with Pippin, and today had about 20 minutes to sit down and talk to Syed Balkhi himself about the acquisition, where Awesomotive is going, what they're doing with the products, how they're going to support the products in the long haul, and what his outlook is for not only Awesomotive, but where e-commerce and the WordPress world is headed. I really appreciate the time he had to sit down. It's been a while since he's done an interview with anyone, and I was honored that he took a moment to share this acquisition with you all, or share the sort of inside baseball of it all. Okay. Thanks to Foo Gallery for sponsoring the show. Don't forget to check out Foo Gallery and their new WooCommerce integration. They're our premier sponsor for the next month, and I really appreciate them. Check them out at Foo Gallery, mattreport.com, mattreport.com/subscribe, thewpminute.com. Okay, let's get into today's episode. Syed, thanks for sitting down and chatting.
Hey, good to be here.
Twitter's abuzz, the WordPress community's abuzz of the acquisition of one of WordPress's longest, most respected brands in the space, Sandhills Development. Of course, Pippin, Williamson, and team, Easy Digital Downloads, Restrict Content Pro, Affiliate WP. We have a short time today, and I'm going to go right into these things. I predicted this a little over a year ago, February 2020. I'm like, because I look at the suite of solutions you have, I look at the segment and the customer that you serve, and I'm like, yeah, e-commerce is coming next. I mean, it's just, to me, what should happen. Was I right on the mark, or was this just happenstance? Hey, he's ready to sell, you're ready to buy.
Yeah, it was really coincidental, actually. After we acquired Search WP, Pippin just reached out. Pippin and I chat. We've been friends for a long time. We've been users of Easy Digital Downloads for a long time. As a matter of fact, I built my entire business on that platform. So I have mad respect for everything that Pippin has done. So yeah, he reached out and said, he was on his sabbatical. We chatted and he said, would you be interested? And I'm like, absolutely, considering we are the biggest user of the platform, that we have all the vested interest to ensure that the platform continues to work and continues to get better because our entire business relies on it. And we came to an agreement.
I've talked to, well, first let me ask you this. Is this the largest acquisition you've made?
I think that's a good question. Depends on what scale.
Not just in database rows, okay? Not database rows. Let's talk people and money.
We never disclose the financial detail of any acquisition or the scale of any acquisition that we make. But given the long-standing history of Sandhills and EDD, I think this is probably one of the most well-respected brands that are joining Awesomotive. So I'm really honored by that.
All products coming over, any of them going somewhere else or not coming over? I assume every product is coming over?
Every product is coming over, Pippin, including the open source plugins. That was one of the big things that Pippin wanted to make sure happened. He found a home where someone can take care of all the brands. and including the free open source plugins, which we have really ramped up our commitment to open source. We have an OS team now that just take care of all of our OS projects. So this is a good home for everything that's there.
It's so obviously it's a sizable acquisition. Again, not just money and team and stuff like that, but when you're looking at the suite of products that he has, and again, the open source and free stuff. I mean, I know the team is coming over as well, but do you look at that and go, boy, do I have the overhead? Do I have the capability to support all this extra overhead that suddenly comes on board? Like when you look at it from a manpower perspective, does that ever, enter into the decision making?
No, not really. If this was happening maybe 3 years ago or 4 years ago, I would have been a little more concerned. But automotive has grown quite a bit, and we have developed a good infrastructure. We have a great team, in admin and in leadership that are helping me along the way and making sure the transition is as seamless and smooth. So no, I wasn't really worried. Also, it makes it easy when so many people that are already joining, when the core values are a lot of the same. So yeah, all those things definitely helped.
I recently chatted with Chris Lemma, of course, and talking about his acquisition of LearnDash over at Liquid Web, trying to find a good way for businesses to approach him, knocking on the door saying, hey, I got a product I think you guys might be interested in. Do you have a framework, a process, advice for that WordPress business owner that's like, please buy my business, Syed?
Yeah, I mean, if we actually have a page on WP Beginner website, if you scroll all the way down to the footer, there's a link called the Growth Fund. You can click on it. It gives you a full story, who we are, story, philosophy, and what we're looking for. And you can, fill the form out. Either, it's a full acquisition that you're looking for, or we're one of the few people who will actually partner with you as a growth fund, as a strategic partner, and invest to help you take the business to the next level. So absolutely head over there and fill it out.
Do you give the growth fund like an accelerator label as well? Like when they're coming on board, do they get education and sort of a curriculum when they go into that?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Is that something that you model maybe after like a Tiny Seed, like Rob Walling's, like there's like courses and there's engagement, I guess, from like educators and instructors and mentors that engage with an entrepreneur?
I have no idea what Rob and Tiny Seed are doing, but all of the playbooks that we're sharing are the ones that we have built internally to grow our various businesses. We're in a shared Slack. I talk to each of the founders on a monthly basis at least, and we're different founders are talking to each other. So as the network has grown, it's been really cool. We have built our own internal mastermind where everybody has vested interest to help each other out, and it's really cool, the internal community we've built.
Yeah. So for the person who's listening, who's interested in this, it's not even just, hey, do I want to sell my business completely? But maybe it's, I want to accelerate my business. I want to grow, as the name infers, the growth fund. You might not be just like relinquishing everything to Syed, because maybe Syed doesn't want it, but maybe he wants to invest in the business and help you grow and sort of, work in that partnership. So, I mean, I like it. It's the only one that I know of. I think it's the only one I know of in the WordPress space. Is that true? Do you know if it's the only one in the WordPress space?
I believe we are. I mean, everybody else is like, looking to gobble up everything. We are the only independent at our scale left, still bootstrapped. And we never set out to become investors. I would say me, Thomas, Jared, none of us ever set out, wanted to become investors. We are product creators. We are here to serve our community. But what we realize is we've learned a lot. And it'd be a shame if we don't help others. And we saw other founders wanting to partner with us. So essentially, we created this so founders can exit on a founder-friendly term, or have an option to partner with an experienced group of entrepreneurs who can help you grow your business, share the playbook, share all the mistakes that we have made, because that definitely helps accelerate if you're learning from your mistakes and moving forward to the next phase of growth.
Yeah. That sort of founder optionality, that giving a founder a choice and sort of this freedom, it sort of goes into sort of my next question. And what's happened with the news, well, what happens with a lot of acquisition news is there's a lot of backslapping, a lot of high fives. How much did you sell for? How much did you make? You and I have joked before, like, which Lambo are you buying? That kind of thing. What got lost in this, or at least what I didn't see in my Twitter feed, was the reasons why Pippin got out of the game. His blog post, I think everyone should read it 3 times as a business owner, because the length of time he was in, the commitment, the investment, both emotionally and monetarily, and his reasons for leaving, people should pay attention, right? This is somebody who is ready to move on. And it's not just about his exit of the money, that the windfall that he might have received, but also, hey, I'm emotionally done with this space. Have you started talking to more founders at this stage in the WordPress game who are like, I'm done. I'm done with this 20-year game of WordPress. It's been a while.
I mean, absolutely. When we acquired Search WP, it was a little bit of the same. I think
Jonathan
entrepreneurship is a roller coaster. I think same was the case, by the way, with All One SEO, and I can say many others are feeling the same way. Entrepreneurship is a roller coaster. You have to know your why, and why you're doing what you're doing, and if you're willing to exit or thinking about exiting, why do you want to exit? What it is that you want, and reflecting is quite helpful. And
Yeah.
for me, it was really cool to talk to Pippin during the sabbatical, learn about it, and of course, he's had spent a lot of time, and we're pretty honored that he chose us. I'm honored to call him a friend for years. Someone who has been there supporting us in our successful journey, building the software to help power our business. So mad respect to him.
Earlier today, I put out a video about skipping past the conspiracy theories of Sandhills Development going to Awesome Motive. Suddenly, people think you can dip into their PHP MyAdmin and look at their database and see what is going on. This is, some folks have, been up in arms with this conspiracy. To me, this is a much larger opportunity than what I make with easy support videos on my software licensing. Like, you can look, it's like a couple $100 a month, like, big deal for me. Any thoughts or anything that you'd say to sort of squelch those conspiracy theories?
One of the creeds that we follow at AM is very similar to the one that Apple has. Data is not our business, and our customers are not our product. Okay, we sell software, and we have an annual recurring revenue business with that. It's interesting. You've been in the WordPress space long enough to know that there is always some sort of controversy, but lately I feel there's a little bit of double standard in the community. When you say you're rooting for independent companies, and we are one of the only independent bootstrap companies that at our scale, and I feel it should be a role model, that it is possible to continue to do that. And but as if you've been in this space long enough, that this happens. For the vast majority of the feedback that I saw on Twitter, overwhelmingly positive, and I really appreciate all the support of everybody in the community that's there. So.
There's a quote from a movie, The Dark Knight Rises, by the actor who plays Harvey Dent. And it goes, you either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain. I feel like that's what WordPress is like, right? I mean, everyone throws a lot of pressure and criticism, myself included, to folks like Matt Mullenweg at Automatic, because we're very critical. And maybe when they see folks like you become so successful, it's just like this thing. It's a human nature. We're also tightly woven with WordPress. We've been here forever, and people feel very emotional to it, which I can totally agree with, on that emotional level of loving a software and a community for so long. But man, we can't do it. I've been with Google for like 30 years. I got nothing I can do with Google, right? So I appreciate what we have with WordPress. And there's nothing we can, everyone's operating at a business, and we must move on with that kind of thing. Speaking of moving on, when are we going to launch SaaS hosted solutions across the board. Give me the juicy details of how you wrap a nice bow on this. You are a SaaS leader with OptinMonster is well, what I'll say is a massive SaaS business. It went from a plugin that is now a big SaaS business. And when I say big, I mean the scale of the software and the solution that it provides. Do you look at this and say, okay, now that I've got e-commerce, I can wrap a nice bow on this? I know it's an easy way of saying it, but is something in the future of this all one-stop shop for everything?
Um, no, I don't think so. We really look at what users are looking for and where the market is at. And one of the coolest things about WordPress is it gives you the freedom of choice and the options to, pick and choose the solutions that you want to use. We never want to go down and become another platform. Then we're not trying to be different. We're just, what's the difference between us and Wix at that point? Our goal is to build the best solutions and let the users pick and choose what they want, and use a software that works for them. Don't have to use the whole suite. And that's the approach that we have taken. So we have SaaS companies in automotive: OptinMonster, TrustPulse, PushEngage, and I'm sure we'll continue to acquire in the years to come. Some in the WordPress space, some may not. Some might have a larger footprint in the SaaS world as well. But yeah, I would say that we currently don't have any plans of launching an e-commerce software SaaS.
Let me approach it from a different angle. Do you think that one of the challenges that especially your business, because now that you have so many products, I mean, you already had a lot of products, now you're adding a whole bunch more. Do you feel like a challenge is the fragmented experience of WordPress? In other words, wouldn't it be great if an automotive customer entered in with, let's say, I don't know, EDD tomorrow, and there could just be, click a button. I want all of these things activated. I want OptinMonster. I want TrustPulse. I want all of these. Just give it all to me. Wouldn't it be easier that way to serve a customer and grow a business, or not?
I think for a certain segment of customers, sure, that works. But people use EDD in very different ways. I mean, even just look at us, right? Our own use case of EDD, we have customized it to a great bit of extent. There's no one-click hosted solution that you could offer. I mean, we're powering OptinMonster SaaS applications e-commerce with EDD. You know what I'm saying? There's no license keys there. His OAuth thing in WordPress and Shopify and BigCommerce and all these other ecosystems. I think there's no easy solution for all the wide array of use cases. So I think maybe in some use cases that could make sense, and there's tons of other solutions that do that, right? Our goal, right? Let me tell you, our goal is to build a solution for digital sellers by digital sellers. That's the vision.
That's
because
awesome.
so many aren't.
Yeah. Speaking of conspiracy theories, this is not really a conspiracy. This is just my own theories projecting out, and you comment if you want or not. I think that the fragmented experience of WordPress is a challenge for everyone, but most notably a challenge for Jetpack and WordPress.com, Matt, et cetera, et cetera. I think that in maybe a year to 2 years' time, maybe 5, that you'll see WordPress.org with a little powered by Jetpack as the best way to experience WordPress. Like when I think of companies that are going to make the experience of WordPress, quote unquote, better, it's going to be either hosting companies or the branding and the positioning of Jetpack as this all-in-one solution, right? Experience of WordPress, making it better. Any thoughts on a future of WordPress where, the flavor of WordPress has changed depending on which company you go to? Liquid Web, WP Engine, directly from .org. And do you think about that as a potential speed bump in your mission?
I started using WordPress in 2006. The flavors of WordPress has changed for the better over the years, but the freedom of WordPress has remained the same. And I believe that, doesn't matter the channel, the freedom of WordPress will remain the same.
Yeah. Will you continue to acquire in 2022?
I think that's a fair statement.
Are you working on any now? Anything that you want to maybe hint at? I mean, what else fits into the? Okay, let me ask you this question: do you have a missing piece in the suite right now that's very interesting to you?
I look at our suite portfolio, our solution set, and there are so many success gaps that exist. You know, from what we offer and what the customer needs to be successful. I don't think we're anywhere close to even having all the solutions. And I think that's a long journey, and we're going to continue to work towards that.
If I introduce you to somebody like Nathan Barry, who you probably already know really well, would that be interesting?
I love Nathan. I've known him for a long time, and he's done amazing stuff. And I've just had an email from him maybe a few weeks ago, and we're good friends. Yeah,
I'm trying to rub the crystal ball and say maybe the next thing Syed goes after is the email platform. Like, I'm just thinking of like what major things could be missing, and maybe this newsletter automation concept might fit well into the stack.
I think Intuit is doing that, right? Maybe we should let Intuit do that.
Yeah. Well, if you have $12 billion, half the banana industry, you got a chance, man. You got a chance. Right. Syed, any other last words of wisdom? Anything you want to point people to as we wrap up here?
No, I mean, I always say go to wpbeginner.com if you want to learn WordPress. Of course, as always, good catching up with you, Matt. I appreciate you, and thank you for doing all you do.
Syed, I appreciate it. Everyone else, mattreport.com, mattreport.com/subscribe. Join the mailing list if you want to keep up with the weekly news. Because, my God, how can you keep up by yourself? Go to thewpminute.com. Join the email list there. Get our 5-minute news wrap-up every week. All right, everybody, we'll see you in the next episode. If you like what you heard today, don't forget to thank our premier sponsor, Food Gallery. Check them out at foo.gallery. Check out their new WooCommerce integration for selling photos with Food Gallery. If you want to support the show and you want to support WordPress news every week, go to buymeacoffee.com/mattreport, buymeacoffee.com/mattreport. Join the membership, join our Discord, take part in the conversation around WordPress news. Buymeacoffee.com/mattreport. Thanks to Food Gallery for supporting the show.